Hello!
Hello!
And welcome back to Project Mosquito!
In this week's episode we're going to be finishing off our body mounts.
It looks like a car and it feels car-shaped.
It does actually feel like you're in a proper special place.
We know in last week's video we said we were going to do brakes. However, we had the kind of epiphany that while we've got the body on, it's an excellent time to put all of our body mounts in place and need to know where they go, yeah? So we're going to do that, and as we go, obviously we'll be taking pieces of the body off, which then put us in a really good position to do the brakes in next week's video, or the next video. In case, depends on chronology. If you're watching this in the future, hello, I hope it's nice there. And in that case, it'll be the next video.
Right, let's have a measure.
Oh. You comfy?
Yeah, the floor's a bit cold, but it's all right. I'm wondering whether we can just come straight off it, rather than putting a bend in it.
It's up to you.
In it.
Will a bend make it stiffer?
Yeah, we can. We'll make them with the bend in, and then chop most of it off.
And of course, we've also got the mount along the back here, along there, that will be our rear window frame. That we need to. We're not doing the back, the boot, whatever you want to call it, because exhaust takes priority. I mentioned this, I think, in last week's video, in the previous video. The exhaust takes priority. That takes up as much space as it needs to, because we have a very special exhaust plan for this car and it needs the space. So we're going to give it all the space we can give it, and then we'll put our boot in and we can make our boot body mount brackets from the boot, because we can bring the boot to the chassis. Yep. Somebody mentioned as well, why are we reinforcing the body using the chassis rather than just reinforcing the body, right? It's got a lot to do with the properties of materials, right? So for example, steel is really easy to make stiff, especially seeing as how we've already got this stiff thing here, right? It's doing other stuff currently, it's being a chassis, right? But it's lovely and stiff already, whereas we've got this super floppy body. And fiberglass is really strong. It has a really good strength to weight ratio, especially something like S-glass, which is like modern fiberglass, not this stuff, that modern fiberglass cars are made of. So S-glass is superb. It rivals carbon fiber, right? But it's flexible. It's very ductile. It's not terribly stiff. And it's great stuff. That's why they use it for like compound bows and stuff like that. Yeah, like a bow and arrow. It's really good, but it's not mega stiff. And so to make it stiff, you end up adding a lot of material. And the whole point of having a material that has a really high strength to weight ratio, like fiberglass or carbon fiber or flax carbon, is that you can use that strength to weight ratio. You can make it really, really thin and have it nice and strong. But it's really important to remember your material properties and what your material is actually good at. So fiberglass, not so great at being stiff, but it is really strong and it's really good at absorbing an impact. And it's really good at being a stressed skin. So all this steel's here, being stiff, being a chassis, doing its thing. Great stuff. So if we mount our stressed skin to that's reasonably ductile, if we mount that to our chassis, then it will reinforce and stiffen the chassis because it is a ductile stressed skin. And it will add the minimum of weight, meaning your stiffness to weight ratio goes through the roof, because stiffness to weight is its own thing. The other thing that I'll mention is when we're talking about properties of composites, Kevlar. There's a lot of talk of Kevlar lately again. The weird one amongst the carbon fibres, S-glasses, fiberglasses is Kevlar. And that's because Kevlar, or aramid, is its like non-brand name thing. But if you see Kevlar and you see aramid, same thing. It's like Kleenex and whatever the other brands of tissues are, right? Kevlar's weird because it's a man-made fibre. It's only strong in tension and not compression, which is why you've seen a bunch of drift cars using Kevlar body kits and Kevlar bodywork, because it's hanging there and it's all nice and stiff and it's all nice and body, right? Until you whack it. And when you whack it, then those fibres can actually bend them and fold in on themselves and concertina in. This is why they use Kevlar in bulletproof jackets. Because obviously it's a big thick plate, and then when it gets hit by a bullet, it can then actually move and fold. Because if it couldn't move and fold, it would transfer all the kinetic energy of the bullet straight through that solid panel into you. And the whole point is to spread the load through these fibres that can then flex. It's why also they use Kevlar for the fuel tanks on Formula 1 cars. Yeah. And why Formula 1 car fuel tanks are bulletproof.
Yeah, absorbing energy.
Yeah, and that's why they use it for drift car bodywork, and it's why we won't really use it for anything in this. It's a very specific use case.
Body protection for motorbikes.
Yeah. It's also good for like a bit that gets bashed a lot on like an under tray or something like that. It has its use cases, and it's really good at what it's good at, and it's better than pretty much anything else at what it's good at, but what it's good at is really specific. So,
yeah, and don't forget that carbon fibre, everybody talks about carbon fibre being the thing, but carbon fibre still has its own weight. You know, it is still got resin in it. So it doesn't have no weight. So to compare like S-glass and carbon fibre, there is very little difference.
Oh yeah, there is in price.
And the way it pollutes. Carbon fibre is super polluted.
Carbon fibre is extremely expensive, and there are different grades of carbon fibre, there are different layups of carbon fibre, there are different ways to make carbon fibre, right? But that goes back to what I was saying about the body, and not making the body strong, but using the strength of the chassis to reinforce the body, rather than adding material to the body. Because if you add enough carbon fibre to carbon fibre, it'll weigh heavy, right? Poorly made carbon fibre will be super heavy. Poorly made fiberglass will be super heavy. A Spanish fishing boat weighs loads, and that's because they are more material is better, aren't they? Yeah. We know all about Spanish fishing boats, right? Right, they're all fiberglass and they're well heavy. It's not that they're not lovely, lightweight, super leggere fishing boats just because they're made of fiberglass. It's all about your construction methods. And it's hitting it before. It's a bit different now. It's lower, Dad.
You what?
Getting in, it's a bit different now. It's lower.
Yeah.
Even these edges, we're going to cut them all down. They're currently 20 odd mil long, like 25 mil long, an inch long on the biggest areas. This will get cut down to 17 mil like this. And like this is. And so even getting in and out will be easier. So do we need to cut some strips?
Yeah, I'm just wondering how we're better doing it, whether we're better using the bead roller and bead rolling the corner in.
We need to not make it for this that's here now. We're gonna make it for the one that needs to be there in the future. And so if we want to chop, we might have to chop this off even, because it's in the correct place at the front, but it's in the wrong place at the back. Yeah. Right. So what we're talking about is, which drawer am I? This one. So, in the spirit of having our cake and eating it too, we won't wind down windows, but our doors, as has been discussed in previous episodes, are very, very rounded, and you can't wind a window down in that. A window will only want to go down in a straight line. And so what we're going to do is bring the window frame around this contour, because currently the window frame is set in. So as you can see, this window frame is set in a long way. Okay, we've got the drip rail as well, but if we get rid of the drip rail, the window is still inset, which is really bad for your aerodynamics. It's pretty good here, pretty good on the front, and it's decent here, but it's absolutely god-awful here. And so what we can do is we can make two birds better with one stone. We can bring the window frame out at the back here, make our aerodynamics better down the side of the car, and make our window better for winding down into the door. So where our door seal currently lives isn't where it's going to be living. We need a spacer of some sort in there, don't we? Mm-hmm. Oops, sorry, in the thing. That's pretty good. Shall we tell them or not?
Yeah, tell them.
Right. So this is possibly the most controversial thing that we're going to do on the Mosquito, and it's nothing to do with arches. Everyone's like, arches, arches, arches. This is the most controversial thing because it's the thing that takes us most away from a GTM, but I think it's one of the improvements that's needed most. Because as well as moving the door frame round, because we're living life on hard mode, we might as well do everything that needs doing. And in my opinion, there is a huge problem with the shape of a GTM. And that is that the windscreen frame, the windscreen is on an angle forwards. Beautiful reclined angle. A-pillars, beautiful reclined angle forwards. You've got your windscreen frame here, beautiful reclined angle forwards. The front of the car, beautiful angle. Then you've got this beautiful rake backwards at the back of the car, and then the tail of the car is raked backwards. But the door is square, and so you've got this beautiful rake backwards here, and then this square door that juts into it. So this line and this line are completely different, and it makes this part of the car look really tall. Added to which, Mosquito, for a transverse mid-engine car especially, has incredible visibility. The view out the front of the car is beautifully unimpeded, and the view from the back of the car is beautifully unimpeded. But the rear three-quarter visibility here is terrible. You've got a big blind spot, especially from the driver's seat, and when you overtake somebody, you really need to know where they are. And so I want to be able to rotate my head and see where people are at a glance. It also comes in massively handy when you parallel parking. And I know from my 2CV, because my 2CV doesn't have the rear three-quarter windows, and having a big thick pillar is a right pain. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to change the shape of the door windows and match more this shape, which will make our door windows bigger and completely change the shape of a GTM and change the silhouette of a GTM and make it far more finished. You'll see. And previously we laid a load of tape on the window. We actually came in here and we laid a load of masking tape on the car. I can show that photo because we've changed it slightly since then. Yeah. But we laid loads of masking tape on the car and we kind of drew out where we thought our window frame should be. And like I said, we've since refined that. Yeah. And yeah, this won't be there. But it will give us just that little bit more visibility. It's quite a lot of visibility when you're looking across the car.
And because this is curved this way, the buttress is curved that way, we're going to curve the top, curve the other way.
Yeah. This is part of making body mounts, and this is one of the problems. You know, we talked about like your order of execution, like what order you're going to do stuff in. This is why, because everything involves everything else. Something can look good on an A4 piece of paper, but then when you get it into full size, it can look a bit chunky. Because finesse doesn't work at scale. Finesse doesn't work at scale, no. Finesse, yeah, at small scale. Yeah, because that's going as well, isn't it?
Yep. Because that's higher there, isn't it? And it slopes down to there.
Mm-hmm. Your high point's where your quarter light is, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So from...
And we have to have a quarter light because of the door jamb angle.
So that's 60.
Because your window has to be the same here as it does there, and then it can move on this angle. Otherwise, the window won't fit in the door. Yeah, you can measure there to there. From the door jamb, you need a good point on the door jamb. So maybe you do it where it intersects the hole for the door.
The square to this.
Mm-hmm.
That's 57.5. If I go from there to there. Can you keep that square on there?
So what we've done is we've made drawings, and then from those drawings we've got photographs, and we've laid the lines from the photographs onto the from the drawings onto the photographs, and then you can get a datum of measurement. So, like for example, using a door hole, you can measure that to 10 mil, and then you can make a grid of reference to then get all your proportions from your photograph onto the actual car. Now, it's not perfect because there is the curvature of the lens. So depending on what photographic lens you're using, it will curve a straight line a little bit and stuff like that. But it's better than nothing because it curves down from this point, and that's because you're sliding this into here. So the smaller you can make this, the easier it is to fit your window into your door. So we're trying to effectively have bigger windows that are smaller. Cake, eating it, etc.
So our window glass from that point to that point is on the outside. Mm-hmm. Is 40.
Yeah, got 41.
Cool. And we've got 48. So that allows us to put a runner in. And
that makes me a very happy boy.
Yeah.
Gordon Murray once said, figuring out how to fit the windows of a car into the doors is the hardest part of designing a car. Because what I didn't want to happen was, if this remained as it is, when the glass slid into the door, there would have been an angle here of kind of window stuck up, window plastic, window glass, window frame stuck up here. And that would have looked rubbish. In fact, a Stratos,
yeah,
when you lower
ends up with a piece there.
Yeah, because the Stratos window pivots at the front and then uses like a runner where you loosen it, which is really hard to do while you're driving, and then slide it down into the door. And when you do, it leaves this horrible jagged edge, which is fine until if you had a slight accident with you.
It's not just that, right? Modern vans, right? Fiat Ducato van. Brand new 2025, 2026 model, right? The window only winds down to there, and there's always a bit of window left.
Unacceptable!
Thing is, we're in France. You need to be able to drive for your baguette with your arm on your window, listening to music. It's a necessity. Have I told you the top of the door is no longer straight?
Yeah.
In the design, good. Yeah, also this line is also not happening. We're going to curve the top of the door. Because you're making a new door, so you might as well. Two cars of reference for the requirements of the doors not being straight anymore. I think it's the Lola Type 36. It's the one that the GT40 was based on, or came after. The GT40 came after it, and the Miura might as well be an SV. I'll put photos up on the screen, right? And the windscreen comes round in a line and then through the doors. And it's one continuous line that runs all the way through the car, and it follows, and then your body line follows on from there. The body line on a GTM is here. And so you want your door line to follow into that, which follows the roof line, and it all looks very pretty. And basically, it's not on a GTM. They did the best, right? But your windscreen is down here. You've got bodywork above your windscreen, so this is going, as previously stated in last week's video. But you got your windscreen down here now. We're going for a bonded in windscreen, so it's slightly different than this. And then your door is a good kind of 25mm, 30mm above your windscreen. To quote Lemon Grab, unacceptable. So we're going to run from there all the way through one beautiful curved line. And then when we put our nice voluptuous arches in, we're going to thicken the top of the door here, obviously as part of our arches. And so this line here, this line here, the line above that runs from the door, and the line that runs from the windscreen at the front all the way around the side of the car, across the top of the door, and then that flows into here beautifully. And it all looks like it was designed together at the same time by somebody who wanted it all to be cohesive. It wasn't, but that's what it's going to look like. And yes, we're aware that that gets rid of where the wing mirror is bolted to. Because everything affects everything.
Until the rules bend.
I did ask if it was your good rule. Yeah, obviously that's a bit straight, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've had quite a few comments over weeks saying that you know, maybe we can consult somebody who's a car designer, or maybe we can talk to somebody who does 3D modeling software or whatever, right? I have wanted to design this car since I was 13 years old. There is no way in hell I'm handing it off to anybody else. Do we do black window frames, or do we do stainless steel window frames? There.
So that's got to be blended out. That corner's got to be blended out and radiused off.
My car's got a 5 head.
And it so it adds a lot of thickness there, which there won't be.
Yeah.
And obviously these gutters, these rails are going, these drip rails, and the drip rails are going from there, so that'll be rounded off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this radius needs echoing into here. Like I say, tumble home is the coach building designer terminology, and the tumble home here is one thing, and the tumble home here is something else.
And they don't go together.
And they don't, no, because it should be cohesive.
So you might think we're faffing and going on a bit, but and it has to be spot on. Otherwise, the whole car will look not very good.
And most cars have a roof that tapers from here back. Yeah, but this is in order to make it look right, we've got to do several things, and that's one of them. Because I don't want to get rid of all the lines of a GTM. This is the point. It's about making the lines of a GTM the best that they can be. It's about this line and this line, which are beautiful lines.
Yeah, the rake of the windscreen.
Yeah, and we're also going to bring the front of the door forward slightly as well, which will make our door hinges a lot easier. Because this is now a 90-degree line from the sill and the only 90-degree line on the car. And so all it looks like is big, black, heavy, thick line.
In fact, we could bring it quite an angle, couldn't we?
Yeah, because you've got this line here in the door.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just brought it out like that, brought it out and round. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because this is also going all this thickness, because the thickest part of the wheel arch is nowhere near the wheel arch. And I need that air, the air that lives here, I need, because all of this air is supposed to be going in my intake, and it can't go in my intake if there's a lot of bodywork in the way. And so we need the air to travel from here, which obviously our headlight will be where headlights should be, and the air will travel down here, along, round the windscreen, down the side of the car, and straight into an intake. But it can't do if this car in the way. It's a big funnel, and you're going to foie gras that air straight into that intake as high speed as possible. That's body. That's not tape. Well, good morning.
Good morning.
So yesterday we weren't happy with it, and we realised what we'd done wrong. We got this angle wrong. We'd made it parallel when it's not supposed to be parallel. So this morning, we spent way too long on it, to be honest. This morning we came in, we got the laptop out, which has my drawing on, and we used the angle finder, and we literally blew it up. We got all of our angles individually, 1, 2, 3, 4, like this, all the way around, and sorted it out, and that is pretty much it, give or take a millimetre or so. And this is including the frame as well, isn't it? So yeah, happy days.
Yep, so now basically what we've got some tracing paper, and we're going to trace it out. So we've got a reference, because obviously once we start chopping things away, you lose your reference, and then you don't know where you are.
Yeah.
So we're going to make a tracing paper template. We'll just trace it out, and then we can keep it for reference. Obviously, until we actually make it, it won't be exactly how it's going to be.
This is very loose, very rough, with much wiggle room. And as usual, we cut things like slightly too big, and then we can trim them down. But in the case of a hole, we're slightly conservative, because you can always make it bigger.
Yeah. So,
but just show you, right, how long we've been messing with this. This is a template of the window frame that was made previously, and I think it's for the other side. So here I have the original window template. This just shows you how long we've been at this. We made this nearly a year ago now, I should think, and it was okay, and I took loads of photos of it, and then, because we stuck it directly to the car, just like this, and we stuck a piece of black paper and all that, and you can see the actual bits of marker pen that were there, that were there as reference, right? Took loads of photos of it, and then I got it on the laptop, and it just looked a little bit old-fashioned, and it just wasn't quite resolved enough. It wasn't quite mature. And I think we've got it with this side. Yeah. So, do we have to chop this back end out here in order to...
We need to do our trace our template, and then we can keep this just for reference. So if we get this, and some tape.
Well, have we got enough room?
To me.
And we have to fit as much context in as possible, don't we? By context, I mean things like the body line and the B pillar here.
Yeah, because
And by context, I mean we have to fit things like the body line and the B-pillar in, which helps us to locate it in space.
It gives us a datum to work from.
Yeah. And really, this is a dry run for us learning how to translate our drawings into reality, because Dad is incredibly versed in creating things from a drawing, obviously, engineer. That's what he's done his entire career. In many cases, he's made a jig to make a thing from the drawing. So he's translated what the drawing needs to be into reality and then created a jig to make the thing and the entire process of actually making a thing from scratch. What he hasn't done is translated my terrible drawings, which are nowhere near a technical drawing, with full of compound curves and I'm going to say improper angles, no 90s and 45s. And the fact is, I don't care about, it's a bit like the Parthenon, right? It doesn't have to be a 90 or 45, like, I don't know if you know this, but none of the lines on the Parthenon are straight. They're all kind of skew, whiff and wonky, so that when you look at it, it looks right. Because if all the lines were straight, the Parthenon would look wonky. It's a bit like that. And so we're learning. This is us learning in the process, and often figuring out how to make something and your process is the time consuming bit. The making's the easy bit, but once we learn our process and figure it all out and learn how to get our angles in and stuff from a computer image or from a pencil sketch, then we're laughing.
And obviously this is a guide, it's not a fixed, this is how it has to be.
Yeah, because none of these lines are straight.
Yeah. So what we do need is
all our points.
Points.
And then from your points you can put your radii in. My first ever sketch of Mozzie was just a GTM with some arches on, because just like the rear window, I was trying to keep as much as possible. And then I realised that I couldn't keep any of it. And once you realise that you can't keep any of it, you've got to ask yourself the question of, are you gonna make a replica of a car that you don't own anymore? Or are you gonna have the guts to go full haute couture and go for it and make something truly special? Which takes a bit of bravery.
It does, because you're always going to get criticised. Because some people absolutely love it, and other people think, no, it's horrible.
I'm fine with that though.
But as long as we like it.
No, that's all right. I've said this to you. I think we need to make it more acceptable. In fact, we discussed it on a Patreon video. I think we need to make it more acceptable for people to go, don't like that car, and that'd be absolutely fine. That's all right. You know, I don't expect everyone to like me as a person, because let's be honest, in your date you meet people that you don't like that much. Don't you? You know what I mean? You don't like everyone. Everyone don't like you. You can't expect everyone to love your car. And at a certain point, you've got to stop worrying about everybody else liking it and make yourself happy. And just make the best thing that you can make.
Because we've done it on tracing paper, we can use it for both sides. So obviously this side is this side. We just need to lift it over, put it straight on the other side. As long as the writing's backwards, when it goes to the other side, we know we're right.
Yeah.
So we can get both sides equally wrong.
Yeah. That's it. As long as they're as wrong as each other, it's fine. So what do we have to cut out? Not a lot.
Not a lot, just that corner.
Just this bit, yeah?
Yeah. You can take all this off now.
All that work. Ta-da!
Yeah, cut it off.
Yeah?
Yeah, just if you start breaking through.
If I break on through to the other side.
Yeah, if you start breaking through, just come a bit further out.
Yeah.
We'll get rid of the tape.
Oh, it's in my head now. Try to run, try to head, break on through to the other side. Right. Ready?
What I suggest we do is we make some little tabs that just fit on there, right?
For now.
For now. And then when we put some, we've got to put some thickness in here, so the door's further out, yeah?
We're not adding thickness though, we door frame out.
Yeah, I know, but we're going to add thickness to here.
In the mould.
In the mould.
Yes.
Right? So if we get this into position, and held into position for now, right? And then we put the thickness in the mould, we can then
repaint that part of the chassis when we
just do this little bit here.
Yeah, I
Shoot everything up, otherwise we're just not...
Yeah. Yeah, because otherwise you're making up a mythical point where you think it might be. Yeah.
All right. And if it's not in the right place, then you've got to grind it all back anyway.
All right then.
And make a different mount. So this is a definite, this is...
Well, in that case, we don't actually have to make any little tabs, do we, for the now?
No.
For here, we don't have to put a mount in at all. We can put these mounts in and we can do the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just do that.
Oh, I'll get 2 out of that. Superb. Yep, it does.
This channel is sponsored by the wonderful support of our Patreon and YouTube channel members, and our qualifying slicks and slicks tier members get a shout out mid-video. Qualifying slicks go first because they get their name on the finished car. So I'd like to say a huge thank you to Derek Green and Steve Schriefer.
Thank you, guys.
And our slicks, Alex Bottomley, Jamie Dowden, Neil Fuller, David Flaherty, Old Goat, Robert Millwood, Logan Pillsbury, Rob Podmore, Liam Quinn, Darryl Rowe, Tim Ritchie, Mike Satke, Joe Shripley and Andy Wood. If you would like your name on the finished car, or you just want more from us in your week, then feel free to check out the Patreon link in the description or the YouTube memberships tab. You get the same stuff on both, they're just 2 ways to support us. So thank you.
Thank you, guys. $106. Body off.
Our ceiling strip we've been doing to 16 to 17 mil, haven't we?
Yeah.
And the body old ceiling strip is numerous different sizes. And so what we're going to do is make it the same as what we've been doing too, which is the same as what's in like a Citroen Diana or a 2CV. And so we're going to cut that to size, the body from the body, and then we're going to clamp the steel strip to the body, and then we're going to weld the steel strip in place with the body in place, just tack it. Then we'll take the body off, and then that'll be able to weld it up proper. Even just clamped though and tacked, it feels loads more rigid on that A-pillar. It's only 2 tacks in a clamp, so we can weld it on at bottom.
I'll tack it on bottom and then we'll put body back on just to double check.
Yeah.
That's got it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, as much overkill as this is, and it is, right, because we could have already made our body super thin. It'll also get rid of any squeaks and rattles, because a lot of fiberglass cars do squeak, don't they? Because they get a bit of chassis flex, or they've got a really stiff chassis and a slightly floppy body. And so as you're driving along, your chassis is super stiff and your body wobbles like this on your chassis and squeaks against stuff. In fact, that was the first thing everyone said to me when we did this. One day I got it super close for the first time ever, and every single comment on, I think it was Instagram or Facebook or something, was like, "That's going to squeak like mad." No, it's not, because it has to move to squeak. For 2 little bolts, that is mega stiff. And obviously, eventually, it'll be loads of little tiny countersunk bolts, probably 4mm, and then we can use little skinny nuts.
Yeah.
Right.
In fact, they've got the non-bolt shop. They've got half nuts, which would be perfect for this.
Yeah. Might stand a chance of getting them in then. Thought you might.
Yeah, to get it within 0.5 millimetre.
Yeah.
Is pretty good. All right, we do have that little kink in there.
Oh, hang on a minute. The people don't know. As wonky as this body is, we've managed to line up the A-pillar strips to the body to within 0.5 millimetre.
We do have a little problem there, which we'll have to address when we make the mould.
That will have happened when it was a child and it was dropped.
Well, unfortunately, that's all we've got time for in this episode.
Yeah, we've run out of daylight, but I'd like to say we've got loads done, but it's the most work two people have ever put into two tiny strips of metal with holes
but
in.
at least we know where we're going now. And you've had a look into the future. You've seen the doors.
Yeah, that's it. It was worth doing the arts and crafts time to get the window design right, to know that it will work in the real world, because what works in a photo doesn't always work in the real world, and to know that it would have been nice to put this in, but it's a lot nicer not to put it in and then have to take it out later because it's in the wrong place.
Yeah.
And so thank goodness we caught ourselves there. And in the next video, we'll be making the back mount for the back window frame bit and all of that. So that's another body mount there.
Yeah, and we're definitely going to finish the brakes.
It'd be good if we started them.
Oh no, we have started.
Yeah,
them,
we're our new brake plumbing. I'm saying, yeah, I'm getting our master cylinders, all reservoirs, all plumbed in.
Yep.
With the new shiny. It's over there, isn't it? The new shiny braided hose. So you've got all that to look forward to. If you do not want to miss out, then please make sure that you click subscribe and the bell icon, and then that way you get notified when we upload sneaky secret midweek videos that YouTube might not want you to know about. Thank you to all of our Patreon members who support this channel. Thank you to everyone who likes, comments, subscribes, shares these videos. Please tell us what you think of the windows.
Yeah, and thank you just for watching.
Please be awesome to each other, and we'll see you all in the next video.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.